Hey trackies, welcome back to another video here on TXT Track Time. Please remember to like the video and also subscribe to the channel. So day 4 morning session is now over with, and I'm going to give you a recap as it relates to the Jamaican participation at this meeting with the events and the athletes to watch out for and how they perform. So let's kick things off with the women's 400 meters, where we had world leader Nickisha Pryce with a whopping 48.57 seconds touch to the track and lay down what was an easy breezy Sunday morning run, a stroll for her, a very relaxed run to qualify easily out of her heat. Now she ran a time of 50.02 seconds to qualify, and as I said, very easy, one and done, just to the next run, just doing enough jackies, in my opinion, to get her qualified for the semi-final round, which is what you need to do. Save as much energy as you can, because we know the 400s, especially when you get to a semi-final, there tends to be sometimes a burnout, because there will be athletes that understand their placings in terms of if they want to get to a final, they have to push it hard to run a personal best. So a lot of times you find the finals or the semifinals, sorry, ended up being faster than the finals. So I'm expecting a burn up in the semi from a few athletes, but I still don't think the likes of Nickisha Pryce will be challenged. But I did love how she executed her first run. Very, very easy cruise from gun to tape, literally. I saw a few athletes come out, really burning that first 200. Nickisha didn't do that. And we all know she has this way of gliding across the track as well, and makes, her run look even more sublime and buttery. That's what she did here. As I said, easy qualification for her. Now, Stacey came out in her heat, and she was second in her heat, and she ran a fantastic season's best 50.16 seconds. Now, given what I saw from Stacey and Williams, I would say that we are definitely going to see Stacey run sub 50 in that semi-final for the 400 meters. Absolutely. That's the vibe that Stacey is giving me. She has definitely turned up at this Olympic Games in her best shape for 2024 so far, and I'm here for seeing Stacey and Williams run possibly personal best, you would say, in the semifinal to try to make it through to the finals. But great qualification from her, as I said, a season's best 50.16 seconds to make it through to the semifinal round. Now, all our athletes incidentally qualified to the semifinal round without having to go through that repechage child where they have an extra round to run. Now, making it through as well is Janelle Broomfield. Now, I have to tip my hat. I don't have one, but tip my hat to a Janelle Broomfield, because she's showing you that it can be done. So for the athletes that are always saying, oh, they can't run relays or focus on relays because, they have to focus on their individual event because maybe it will affect their performance there. Not Janelle Broomfield. She did 2 rounds in the mixed relay for Jamaica, and she came back again for her individual event and qualified to the round. Now she placed third in her semifinal, and she ran a time of 51.36 seconds to make it through to the next round. So good performance from Janelle Broomfield, good qualifying as well. Given what we've seen from her this season, I think this is well within the realms of what we expected from a Janelle Broomfield, and I'm happy that she progressed to the next round without having to go through the repechage phase. No, given what I saw, as well in the heats from other athletes, this is what I'm going to say, as far as I'm concerned, about the athletes that will potentially make it to the finals, and also those to watch out for the medals. So when it comes to medals, I'm looking at clearly the Jamaican Nickisha Pryce. I did say from earlier on that I'm looking for a gold medal from her, given her caliber, right? But there are gonna be people that are gonna be gunning for those same medals as a Nickisha Pryce. One, athlete that I think will be doing that is a Marilady Paulino. She ran a 49.42 to win her heat. I was thinking that it was maybe too much, but you never know. Maybe she's in 47 shape. Not sure, but we'll see as the rounds progress, right? But she ran a 49.42 to qualify. I'm also looking at Natalia Kazmarek. She's the second fastest 400-meter sprinter, in this field. Not the second fastest in the world, because there is Sidney McLaughlin Leveroni. But I'm looking at Natalia Kazmarek. She ran a 49.98 to make it through to the next round to win her heat as well. Looking out for Amber Annin. She ran a 49.68 to win her heat as well. Also, Lika Claver is in the conversation for me, 49.96 to make it through. And I'm also looking out for Salwad Eid Nasa as well. And she qualified running a 49.91 to win her heat. Another athlete that I'm looking out for, track is Rashida Adeleke. Now, she ran a 50.09 to win her heat as well. So, those are the athletes that I'm really keeping my eye on as it relates to potentially making it to the finals. There are a few that I do think will be challenging these said people to try to make it in the finals, right? But these are the main protagonists, I believe. Now, given how much names I called, right? Some people probably won't make it, given the fact that, again, I do believe that we'll have challengers to these same people. Who those challengers are? I believe that hopefully we will have Stacey Ann challenging. I do believe that she can give me a sub 50. If she can give me a sub 50, I do believe that she challenges for one of those spots to make it into the final. It's going to be tough, though. It's going to be very tough, but I'm looking out for Stacey Ann Williams absolutely, hopefully making it to the finals in the women's 400 meters to join Nickisha Pryce. Now, that was it for the women's 400 meters. Now, let's talk about the men's 400-meter hurdles qualifications, because for me personally as well, I believe the men came out looking very good. Very, very good. And I won't lie to you, trackies. Any O them never have Karsten, Rai Benjamin, Alice dos Santos right now more than a call Jamaica for a medal. It's just such a shame that we're living in the time that we have such good hurlers that it seems as though right now our athletes are locked out of the podium, but they look so good. And I believe that we'll be getting personal best performances from these athletes at these games, right? So, as I said, let's get into the qualification results for these athletes. So Roshawn Clarke came up as the fastest Jamaican that qualified through to the semifinal round. He won his heat running a 48.17 seconds. Now, Roshawn, I did talk about him before as it relates to the national championships and also watching him on the circuit prior to the Olympic Games. Did realize that he's cleaned up himself a bit more than he was at the national championships, but I'm still seeing, a few technical errors from him, in his first round. If he's able to clean things up, track is not only do I see him again in the finals for the 400-meter hurdles, but I definitely see him potentially running a personal best as far as I'm concerned, given how good he qualified, how easy, how relaxed he qualified in his particular heat. Though, as I said, I do believe he has some technical, flaws that he has to work on. Also, qualifying track is looking quite impressive as well. Winning his heat was a Malik James King. He ran a 48.21 seconds to qualify. As I said, looking very good, really, really good from start to finish. Track is very evenly paced race, evenly distributed, and that's what I love about how Malik James King's runs. You get the same energy you get in the first half is the same energy you get in the second half, and I believe he's also one of those athletes that are on target to not only make the finals but also run a personal best. As I said, we're unfortunately living in the times where there's Carsten Rai and also Dos Santos, Alice Dos Santos, and it just seems as though based on those three athletes and their caliber, we may be shut out of the medals. You know what I mean? But that doesn't take away from the awesome performances that I believe these athletes will be coming with once we get to the additional rounds. Now, our third athlete, Jahil, had also qualified. Now, he was second in his heat. Now, he was only second because he ran with Rai Benjamin Child. So that was kind of expected. But Jahir had run a 49.08 seconds to qualify. He looks good as well. Looked much better than when I saw him at the national championships, to be fair, which is boding well for Team Jamaica, because I do believe that we have really solid representation heading into the semifinals to potentially get to the finals in the men's 400-meter hurdles. So, yeah, men to look out for though, track is Carson Warholm. He goes in with the fastest qualification time. He ran a 47.57 seconds. You know how Carson runs. He gives you that first 200 really hard and then he will shut it down, towards the end of the race. That's pretty much what he did here, running that 47.57 seconds. Who really impressed me, track is, was Rai Benjamin, though I'm not feeling him right now because he's trying to poke his nose into business that he doesn't belong into. Stay out of 100-meter people business, Rai. Anyway, with that being said, Ryan looked very impressive. He ran a 48.82. And when I tell you Ryan cruised from the beginning to the end, I was like, gosh dang it, he didn't get out of no gear. He didn't even start the gear. I mean, I know him did a move because him not start no gear as far as I'm concerned. He looked that impressive as far as I'm concerned. And then you have the Brazilian Alice dos Santos. He also won his heat. He ran a 48 point. No, sorry, he didn't win. He was on the verge of winning his heat and unfortunately shut it down wildly and looked like he didn't realize who was coming up on him, because you know those athletes will be killing themselves behind you. And they pipped him. He ended up being third. He ended up being third and he ran a 48.75 seconds. So it's interesting to see how these races are going to be seeded, because I did point out that given how Dos Santos ran, unfortunately, we may get a semifinal that has Dos Santos and possibly one of the other big athletes in the race, as well as some of the Jamaicans, which is not what we want, because we want, you know, the athletes to be pretty much streamlined across the events or the heats, distributed pretty evenly when we get to those semifinals. So when you find one semifinals overly stacked, you know, it's, you know, the odds of others making it through are limited, because you know too many people, too many good people are in one race, and we may potentially get a race like that, unfortunately, in the men's 400 meters hurdles. But that being said, I still do believe that we would at least get two athletes that will qualify to the finals. I'm looking at Roshawn and I'm looking at as well Malik. Now for Jahil, I believe that he could be, you know, in personal best shape as well. But Jahil Hyde is gonna have to do some if he wants to make it into the finals. But for now, all these athletes, as I said, have completed the first round, and that was qualifying to the semifinals, and they did so successfully, very impressively as well. And I can't wait to see what they have to offer in the semifinal round. Now, the final event that I want to talk about was the men's 400 meters repechage round, because as you all know, heading out of the 400-meter heats, only one Jamaican qualified. That was Javon Powell. So he's the only athlete that automatically qualified to the semifinal round of the 400 meters, which means that our two other athletes, trackies, had to go to the repechage round, which is an extra round of running, interestingly, to make it to the semifinal round. But trackies, first thing, the national champion, DeAndre Watkin, did not start in his semifinal. And that was surprising to me. Not sure why he didn't start, but track is he did not start in his heat for the repechage round, which means that he takes no further part in the men's 400 meters. As well, we had Sean Bailey. He was second at the national championships, and he also, unfortunately, did start in the race but pulled up. So he won maybe the first 50 of the race, and after that track is he pulled up seemingly injured or seemingly hurt. So with that being said, he also takes no further part in the men's 400 meters. And honestly, right now I'm just wishing them all the best for their future endeavors, because we all know that there's no further participation for these athletes at the Olympic Games, given that there's no 4x4 for the men to participate in. So this pretty much ends their, you know, journey at this particular Olympic Games, and hopefully we'll see them at other Olympic Games or championships, global championships in the future, representing Team Jamaica. That being said, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like the video, of course, and subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.